All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the National Model Railway Month here on the channel. I am your Ice Dragon, Rayron VR, and today we're going to be talking about Broadway Limited. Now, I can't exactly remember what first engine I got from Broadway Limited was. I believe it was a diesel, but again, I can't remember. I have a whole mixed match of used steamers and diesels, and they all tend to blend together. But when it comes to Broadway Limited, they had a very interesting history. So I've had a few Broadway Limiteds that had, I think, the QSI decoders. They were okay. I tend to stay away from their Paragon 1 and 2. And I definitely stayed away from Paragon 3 because when I started to realize that this company was producing a lot of these steamers and diesel engines, I was doing a lot of research on them. And at the time, it was the Paragon 3 decoders. And I tell you what, I've never seen the amount of dislikes and complaints and just horror stories coming from the Paragon 3 decoder, from shorting out to not having a keep alive to having their smoke boxes kind of melt down. Still can't see that in Paragon 4, but I don't use a smoke anyways. But yeah, the Paragon 3s really were not great. Some of their even older items, even with the QSIs, were better than the Paragon 3 decoders. But when they started coming out with the Paragon 4 lineup, I was still a little bit skeptical if I wanted to invest in Broadway Limited. And I basically said, okay, let me try one of their steamers to see if the hype is real when it comes to Paragon 4. I heard that it was doing really well. They added some keep alive, current system, whatever you want to call it, in their decoders now, and they still have the smoke units. I One thing about Broadway Limited is that I would not recommend using the smoke units because if you're not careful with them and they run out of smoke fluid, there is a chance that you can melt the chassis of your steam engine. I've seen some horror stories when it comes to Broadway Limited and their smoke units, and so I tend to turn it off. For one, I'm also get nasty headaches when I smell the smoke, so that's another reason why I don't deal with it. But when it comes to steamers, so I end up buying this one. You guys, if you're a regular on this channel, you know that I heavily love and adore this engine. This is the Atlantic Daylight Scheme. And this was really my test engine to see if the Paragon 4 was really good from what I've been reading. And when I ran it at the Samurai layout, it is definitely my best runner. It goes over electrofrog switches just fine. It goes over turnouts just fine. It has yet to derail and has yet to kind of stutter on the layout. And so it has been the best runner I've ever had. It takes the turns just fine on my modular layout that you'll see on my podcast that I do every Friday about the IC Railway. And so it was really the first test engine to see if the Paragon 4s were actually really good. And I tell you what, I'm glad I did because I started getting some other Paragon 4 locomotives. I've been getting diesels. I've been getting a whole bunch of other things. I've got a lot more other things on pre-order as well. As you can see, their website used to be really good, and then they updated to this more standard GUI interface, and it's absolutely trash in my opinion. So it makes kind of looking for items on their store a little bit more cumbersome. I don't know why they changed it. I think they had a better website before this update, but as you can see, I'm slightly kind of struggling here. I want this one. But anyways, when it comes to BLI, the Paragon 4s are spot on. I've had plenty of diesels. I've had plenty of steamers now under BLI. And I tell you what, I'm filming this in 2023. Broadway Limited is actually my favorite manufacturer right now. Like I said, the Paragon 4s are really good. One thing that I really enjoy in what they're doing is that they are pretty much becoming the Lionel of HO scale. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, just take a look at this. When it comes to their GS4, which is something I've definitely kind of overhyped, I'm hoping it's good, but it's still delayed as of this recording. But they've been doing a lot of fantasy schemes. Take a look at this right here. I've been loving this engine. I've got it on pre-order. I cannot wait to get this running with my California Zephyr set. But they've got basically a Western Pacific in the aluminum orange Zephyr scheme. and it's only available at Train World. But it just looks gorgeous, and they've been doing a lot of this lately. I want to see if I can give you guys another example with when it comes to their diesel locomotives. So let me go ahead and see if this is going to cooperate. Okay, so another example is their diesels. They've got a shark nose HO, and not only do they have fantasy schemes, they take it one next step after that. So they've got these shark noses that I've got on pre-order. I love everything about this. You guys know I am a fantasy type of person when it comes to my modeling, when it comes to model railroading. I love these schemes they got here. Again, it reminds me of Lionel in O Gauge, that you can have these fantasy schemes and have fun with it. And that is the joy of the hobby, and that is why I highly, highly respect what BLI is doing. Additionally, another thing that I like about Broadway Limited is how they package their steamers. Now, they have the clamshells, and then it's unlike Athearn. They actually keep the tender and the locomotive connected together. You never have to disconnect them, and you can always put them in the clamshell and putting in the protective sleeves, and you're good to go. This should be the standard for all of the packaging when it comes to steamers. This company has actually replaced my favorite at the time for steamers, which was Athearn. I've always been a big fan of Athearn, but I cannot begin to tell you how many steamers I've broken because you got to disconnect, reconnect, and it's like, do I still use the Athearn box, or do I try a different box so I can keep the two together, but then I break off pieces and details, and it becomes a hassle when you have to do that. Bachmann does the same thing too on their steamers, but I think Broadway Limited does it right. So yeah, I'm a big fan of BLI recently, but yeah, that is pretty much Broadway Limited. I'm a big fan. Right now, they are in my humble opinion, they are my #1 manufacturer right now when it comes to diesels and steamers. I think they're just doing it right. But again, that is just my opinion. That's just because I've got a lot of experience with them now. I've run a lot of diesels and engines on my layout here and at the Public Club at Samara, and I've seen others run them just fine as well. So I am definitely happy with what I have. I think another diesel I kind of want to showcase here too, that I really want to talk about. Let me go ahead and bring it up real quick. Again, their website could use a little bit better, but I'm going to see if I can try to find it for you guys. And of course, I'm not going to be able to find it. Let's see. I need to find it. Oh no. They don't have like a page 2. Again, the website is completely trash. I can't stand it. But they came out with the centipedes, and those centipedes have so many wheels. And oh, maybe I can find it. Maybe it wasn't. I don't think it was electric, was it? I don't think so. Let me see. No, they don't have. That's interesting. I wonder what. I wonder if that's a Easter egg. They're gonna come out with some electric locomotives. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. All right, let me go back. Oh, yeah, it's Paragon 4. Yeah, Centipedes came out with the Paragon 4s. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. But anyways, they came out with the Centipedes, and man, those things run like a dream. You guys have seen that a couple times on my channel. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Broadway Limited and the Paragon 4 decoders. Definitely my favorite, probably my second favorite behind Blue Nami's. Maybe third, because I like the Tsunami 2 decoders as well. But yeah, definitely up there. And they've taken a lot of my money this year. Let me just put it that way. But yeah, with that, guys, that's me rambling about Broadway Limited. And that kind of concludes the manufacturers on this part of the series. One thing I forgot to note is that they do HO and End. But again, I'm an HO modeler, so I focus a lot on the HO manufacturers. I will have a separate video kind of at the end, kind of wrapping up other manufacturers from different scales, just to kind of let you guys be aware that, hey, these manufacturers exist. I just don't have a lot of experience with them, and you'll need to go to either like a YouTuber or other references to really figure out what works best for you. But again, I kind of want to focus on the main HO manufacturers at this point. So with that, we'll go ahead and start transitioning with the next episode, and we'll talk about layouts and organizations. But with that, guys, have you guys got Broadway Limited? Are you guys happy with the Paragon 4? Let me know in the comments down below. And thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.